Welcome to the Talk About Purpose podcast. I'm Matthew Huey.
I'm Brian Harper.
I'm Frank Curry. And back for second time guest, Dan Edmonds.
There
Thank
he
you.
is.
And
Welcome
Edmonds.
back, Dan.
Thanks for
Welcome
joining
back,
us again.
man.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And today we're talking about fatherlessness, which all of us, which we just found out, experienced.
Yeah.
And before we go any further, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out and helps us a lot.
Absolutely.
Back to fatherlessness. As of 2019, 23% single parent homes in the US compared to the rest of the world at only 7%. The US has a significantly larger amount of single parent homes than the rest of the world.
Is most of those mothers?
It's over 80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
A lot. It's a lot. 1 in 3 kids will actually be raised in a single parent home.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
That's
all 4 of us here
Yeah.
had one parent.
I actually had I had grandparents, so they raised me, but I didn't really have either of them. They were both kind of gone, doing their own thing. Didn't really have time for kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things when I was actually doing this, I did want to say this. Again, going back to our media podcast, please do your research.
Yeah.
Don't just believe whatever you're seeing on TikTok or reading on a web page. Make sure it's sourced. I found a lot of garbage on this too. A lot of garbage. And they even cited bullshit studies done by some guy in his basement. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Be careful with this. With that out of the way, here's some real studies from the Census Bureau from 2022. If you have a mom raising you without your dad in your life, you're more likely to end up in prison. You're more likely to end up homeless. You're more likely to end up dropping out of school. You're more likely to have lower self-worth, abuse drugs and alcohol, suffer neglect, 4 times more likely to be raised in poverty. That's crazy.
Oh.
Shit.
4 times. You're more likely to experience teen pregnancy. You're more likely to experience domestic violence. You're 2 times more likely to suffer from mental health and behavioral problems, which is interesting. That's kind of interesting. The one that got me, though, you're more likely to become obese. The one that got me was you have a 2 times greater risk of infant mortality.
Holy shit.
That's that's
That's
hard to believe.
weird.
Yeah.
Now, it might only be 0.00001%.
Yeah.
But you're still doubling whatever that percent actually is.
Right.
And that's just a real weird correlation that was put in there. That's something at a deeper level fathers connect to that I don't think can be studied. I don't think you can.
Right.
No,
I think it reaches deeper than that.
that's odd.
I don't remember what the exact statistic was, but I read somewhere that, if you have a mother and father in the household, right, there's like a strong chance that you won't end up in like prison or in like any kind of, I don't know, disciplinary like type of thing, and if you take the father out, obviously there's a strong chance that you will end up in prison or end up in like juvenile detention, things like that. So you'll have a strong chance. But if you remove just the mother, that statistic like basically doesn't change at all. So you're better off being raised by just your father than just your mother.
So the statistics on that is 7% of single parent families are raised by men. And I think I tried finding some information on that.
Tough, yeah.
It's really hard. And that's where I ran into a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
A lot of basement nerds trying to, Reddit warriors trying to come up with some bullshit and nothing to back it. I like Reddit. Don't get me wrong,
like
but they have a lot
lot
of
of
bad on there too.
I think it was a video that I saw, and it was a woman that did the video.
Yeah,
and that's why it was interesting hearing it, because it was, she was the one that was saying that, like, statistically speaking, like, if you take a mother out of the household and not the father, and child's probably still going to do better off.
You know what's crazy?
What?
So I actually did read a little bit, something that I found was actually factual on this, which is very hard to find. And it was men are 40% more likely to have the replacement of the mother with a girlfriend or a fiance or then another wife, as compared to the women have a man come in to replace father.
Right.
I mean,
in the house. So
I'm obvious with that with my daughter. I mean,
yeah,
that's how it is with my daughter. I have custody of her. My fiance do, and her mom's single and raising her son.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
Being a father is so important, but there are different types of dads. And I think fatherlessness isn't just when your father's not in the picture.
Yeah.
Because there are different types of dads. You have the typical Disney dad, which is he's in your life. He's doing all the wonderful, perfect things he's supposed to be doing, loving, caring. He's a good dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not meant negatively. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Then you have the hollow dad, which is what I would consider fatherlessness, honestly.
Yeah.
You may be in the house, but you're not connecting. You're not talking. You're ignoring. You're not playing with. You're not doing.
Not paying attention.
You know what I mean? You're there, sure. But that does matter. And I'll get to a study. I'll get to an interesting story after this that you guys can comment on them.
Yeah.
Then we have the Steve Austin dad, which is the crack a few beers, get a little violent, physical. No offense to Steve Austin.
I was gonna say, I don't think he'd like this
No.
version of a dad.
It's his personality.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Not him.
His
Because
wrestling
Open up a can of
persona.
whoop-ass.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't think his wrestling persona was even that bad.
No,
It wasn't, be vicious and mean to
ask
kids.
Frank. No, I'm just kidding.
It couldn't have been. Was it?
Frank was a
No,
wrestler.
I mean, he was more of a face. He was more of a face than a heel, I believe. I mean, people can
they like him.
update me. Face is a good guy. Heel's a bad guy. So
yeah,
I like being a heel.
Yeah.
I thought it's easier to be a heel. It is easier to be a heel. But I thought he was more of a face because he'd come out and the crowd would go crazy. Everybody loves him. He's beating up against the faction or whatever,
right.
whoever, just whoever's in front of him. He's just beating them up and everybody loves him behind him. He just riled the crowd up. 316, Stone Cold kick your ass. Everybody goes crazy over it. Going after Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon trying to put, bounds on him.
Oh, yeah.
Shit like that. Him going against Triple H, the old school stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he was definitely face. I mean, they went back and forth. Sometimes they're heel, sometimes they're face, just to change the crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Triple H was definitely back and forth, heel, face. The Rock was heel and face. Before he was even The Rock. He was, more of a jobber at one point. Well, no, I guess he was never a jobber. But but before that.
That Mandela effect still
Before
gets
that,
to me.
yeah.
What?
That Mandela effect still gets to
Really?
me. I still think
What's the Mandela
can you
effect?
smell what the Rock is cooking? That's what I thought he said.
And you,
My whole life, I thought that's what he said.
What was it again?
if you smell,
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
No.
It doesn't even make sense.
No. What the Rock is cooking.
I remember,
If
I don't
you
have the glasses.
smell.
I remember
I
that's
think-
a prime example because he was doing that, and then Triple H was against him, and was even like, I don't know, but it sure smells like shit. When he smells
So
it, he's
good.
cook- like I remember some
Yeah.
of that. So again, they go back from heel and face. You know what I mean?
I
At that
did-
point in time, Triple
Sorry,
H was
yeah,
face.
we're getting
All right,
way
we're
off
way
topic.
off
We should do a
topic.
thing about wrestling. Yeah,
We should do one. Yeah.
We gotta watch soccer wrestling with Frank.
yeah.
All right, then you got the hopscotch dad, which is the every other weekend dad.
That was
You
me.
know.
With custody. You can't
Me
really do
too.
much, yeah.
I was that, I still kind of am but there's a reason that I am, I have my kids I've been trying to take them every weekend if I can, but every other weekend, but they have a very good routine. Their mom's very busy with work. I'm very busy with work. So when I do get time to spend with them on my weekends, I like that. And so does she. So she enjoys her weekends with them as well. They spend a lot of time with their grandmother while we're doing work and trying to create stability, but
yeah,
it's tough. Well, we try and make the most of the time that we do get with them.
Where are the studies of the people who had the quote perfect family though? And then how did those guys turn out second generation, and how did their family then turn out?
I don't have that.
That's what I'm saying. You don't see those studies because I don't know if it's any better now. Is it the time that we're in? Or is it?
I do know everything I looked at, pretty much every dot on the board. If you have two parents in your life, your biological parents, or adoptive parents, you're going to be much better off.
Yeah, I think I was looking at something like that where it said, again, I don't want to try to misquote something, but it was as if
I do that shit all the time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's like the people that have, what they were trying to say is the people that have stability there all the time have a greater chance of success because they'll take chances because they know they have a place to fall back on or a group to fall back on, their parents. So they'll go out and fail because they know they could always come back and still be okay. And the people that don't have that kind of settle because they just have to be okay.
So
that makes like, there's no like, this is sense. It. I don't have anywhere else to go. I'm out my own. Like, I got to make this work. Too bad, so sad. Where somebody else be like, well, yeah, it didn't work out. I can go back and live at home for a little bit and get my shit together and get myself, on my feet and then go back at it again. And I thought about it, like, yeah, that's people out. Yeah, that's a good one, Aaron. That's probably true.
So I've had cousins that had both of their parents in their lives, and their parents were doing very well for themselves, and then they got into drugs and doing all kinds of stuff like that, and they weren't like, even though they had the nice strict parents at home, they're always there trying to teach them right from wrong, and then they went and rebelled, but they always had mommy and daddy to fall back onto. Now they're doing good now. They're doing good now, but
oh god, I could write a list of fuck ups that have the perfect family and great parents and affluent people growing up their whole life and are turds. Just literally never went anywhere ever. But and there's some that took the reins and kept going, but that's not a whole lot of the stories there.
Statistically, probably is better to have both parents, but there's obviously there's always going to be stories of people that go against that grain.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because there's going to be stories that are outsiders of it, for sure.
Yeah,
because it's only a number and it's not going to be 100%.
Yeah,
but
that trickles down to being spoiled.
That's affluence.
Like, think about that. You know what I mean? Like, you give your kids too much, like you're too good of the parents, and that screws them up too. Like, there's a fine line of like tough love.
Yeah.
And then like, do you baby your kid? Like, like, do you give your kid a car, or do you make them like work every weekend to get a car? Because you look like that's something that's going on too. Like, parents, it's like a cooler thing to like not have your kid go to work, like and give them everything.
What?
I think so. Like, I mean, just like, I know, like, just when I went to high school versus like, there was like one parking lot full of like the seniors that drove. And now every kid that the day they turned 16 had a brand new car, and they have to have 7 parking lots full of cars. Like, that's just like, depends what area you're in, but like, it's more pronounced or more of a, I can't think of the word I'm thinking, but it's like, you're showing off a little bit more to the other parents that your kid doesn't have to do this and they can get that. Do you know what I'm talking about? But that's the truth though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, my kid doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to work. Like, it's almost like a bad thing that you make your kid work because it's like, you don't have money, I guess. So you have to make your kid work
like that.
Because he has to have his own money. I don't think that's
a nightmare.
But that's what I think it equates to. Because I don't understand why our parents are all pumped up that they don't have to make their kid work.
I'm excited for my kids to get jobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're a little bit different.
The way I look at it is I'm not making my daughter get a job if she doesn't want one, but I just got custody of her and she has a lot going on. From the time that she had with her mom and, stuff like that. Now I am giving her a car, my old car, just because
you're spoiling
it's easier to give her.
Spoiling her.
I understand.
Bad.
Well, yeah, I'm giving her my old car because it's cheaper than buying a beater right now because of Bidenomics, number one, right?
Yeah.
Number two, I'm making her pay for it to get on the road, so it needs tires. needs to be, they need to be mounted and balanced. It needs an alignment, and then it needs an inspection, and it needs this, that, and the other thing. It's going to be like $2,000 for her to get this car on the road. And I'm saying you don't get the car on the road until you have the money. So she already has the money because she worked all summer for it and everything like that. She knows it's on the road. But then I use that for collateral. I'm saying, all right, you're putting your money into this car. As long as you don't get caught speeding and you're not doing nothing crazy in it, and you're not doing nothing bad, I'll sign the car over to you when you're 18. However, if you do anything until then, I take the car off you, I keep your money, and I sell the car and I keep the money.
So it's like Santa Claus is coming. You better be good.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting any presents.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You have to have that.
You have skin in the game now.
Absolutely.
Too. All that time that you worked at the pool and you busted your ass, got stung by bees, and everything else that you had to deal with was worth this money to get the car on the road. Don't screw that up and lose all that time. It's an opportunity cost.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but as far as the work thing goes, she wants to work. And I'm not going to say, no, don't work. Like, we're showing off to the neighbor that she wants to work. So I'm not going to tell her no. I told her, and I said, with the price of insurance, I probably need you to work to, because it's going to be expensive. You got to put some skin in the game. You know what I mean?
Even if it's just working for you at your house.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I always do that.
Just anything to give some sort of reference to time versus money.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, we always have chores. She has plenty of chores that she helps out.
Oh, you have to have that.
But then there's other things like I just say, hey, do you want to make $50?
Yeah.
Hey, do you want, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You're like, oh, what do you want me to do? I need you to sell this stuff on eBay for me. Just take pictures, do descriptions, put it on my account, sell it, whatever, I'll give you money towards it, or whatever money we get from it, I give you a percentage or whatever for you helping me, stuff like that. So I mean, I do things like that for her, but she wants to work. So I'm not going to say no, but I'm not making her do it because I don't want, and I told her that I said, it's okay for you to go work as long as your grades don't suffer. She has awesome grades.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as your grades aren't, as long as I'm not seeing your grades slip back from you working a part-time or a full-time job or whatever like that, it has to be part-time obviously, but for you working a part-time job or weekends or whatever, as long as I don't see your grades slip, I'm cool with it. But I also said there, you have your whole life to.
I think you're right. But I also think as a parent, you really need, I would say by the time the kids go to college, even if it's 1 year, I'm going to do it. You need to force your kid to go work outside of you, to have like a boss that's not you.
Yeah.
So you get reprimanded by somebody other than you. I mean, again, my kids are doing stuff, so they have teachers, and so they have that difference in authority other than you. Yeah. But I think you almost need to do that so that they have a little bit of a foresight going into college. It sends them in a little bit of direction. You have to.
You have to give them the tools.
We all did.
You have to give them the tools that they need to be able to survive in the world
even
by
if it's
themselves.
6 months, like their last year of high school, like you're working this summer, like you said, just by the pool for 2 months, just something else other than you that's like, okay, I'm dropping you off. You need to do it. You got your paycheck for $77 for the 2 days you work. At least it's something.
Yeah.
And then they understand how money works and how tax works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean, even though they're not taking full tax out of her, they're still taking some tax out of her.
Yeah.
So she's seen it. She's like, "Oh my God, Dad, look at this. It's the money coming out." And I said,
welcome
to
the world.
Get him a checking account.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
You have to wait until they're 16 for a checking account.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
No, my son has one already.
Yeah, you can get
a withdraw.
So as a father, I use a book called Raising a Modern Day Knight. And one of the things of the steps to manhood in my family is you go get a checking account at 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So
can you withdraw and everything?
Everything.
Oh wow.
And yeah.
I was just waiting for her to be 16 to put the money and stuff in there.
No.
Anyways, because that's when she's gonna get like a real job, because this summer job was,
Yeah. No, it's great because you get their own card, and it's less penalties until they're 18. It's fantastic.
Both of my kids
love it.
Both of my sons, they have bank accounts.
They're savings or checking?
They're savings accounts.
Yeah.
They're not able to touch them until they're like, I think 21. We have it set to or something.
Yeah.
That's
but
actual checking.
we don't even want them to know about it though, because we want them to be through their college phase or whatever they want to do, and then we keep putting money into it here and there, so that way one day they'll have a down payment for a car, down payment for a house, something. We'll keep putting money into it, and they won't even know about it. So something that we try and do, just so that way, it's something that I didn't have when I was growing up. I didn't have. So I don't want to give my kids stuff that, like, I'm not that type of parent where I want my kids to do better than me. I want my kids to have more than me, but I don't want to just give it to them. I want them to have the tools to be able to go out and earn it. I want them to be able to do better than I did because I gave them what they needed to get there.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
I want each generation to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's actually quick get back to the different types of dads. We got three more.
Yeah. Go on.
So, leave anybody in the dust there.
Sometimes.
Like I said, Matt, Frank.
Well, no. Now
No, I'm just kidding.
Frank,
Dan.
Yeah. Bumbo.
Yeah. Power couple over there, ain't they?
But we have wisdom.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yes,
it's true.
Exactly. All right. So, anyways, we got the peekaboo dad, which is he shows up whenever he really wants to. And at any time, you never know when he's going to be there. And then you have, which was my dad, my biological dad. And then you have the invisible dad, not there at all. Gone.
Yep.
Obviously. Then you have the angel dad, the one that actually died.
Yeah.
So those are all the different dad types that you could have.
I don't know. I guess mine was more like he's probably like a peekaboo dad. Like every now and then he kind of popped in, say hi if he wasn't in jail or, on the run or something like that. My dad was like that. But now kind of in his older age, he's trying now. Like he's trying to be a part of the family. He wants to have a relationship with his grandkids. And so he is trying now. For me, I'm trying as well. It's tough. He's a very stubborn guy. So, but we get along now, and I do try, but, for a while it was like too little too late, and then
Doing the best you can do though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you just be friendly, let him be himself.
Exactly. Like I said, I am trying now that things are better now than they,
take it from right now forward.
Right.
Don't go back.
Exactly.
What's the point?
There's no point.
Yeah,
There's no point.
just
No
go forward.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what happened with mine too.
Yeah.
Got older, wanted to be involved, is super involved now. Loves the kids. And he's a sweet old man. Old man.
Yeah.
But before that, he was an alcoholic. He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Let's put it
Right.
that way. That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Chased us through fields and cars, threatened to, anyways.
Right.
That's one thing. You do have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
You eventually some guys do mellow out and they do realize what they miss.
Yeah.
That does happen. It's hard to forgive for some people. And sometimes it's not worth it to actually build the relationship back up. But there is always hope there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
I have the invisible and then the every other and then the invisible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. These
So
can
it's
all
like,
change.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's how it was. I don't have a relationship with them now. So
Are you ever going to try to, or is that not?
I don't have time. I realize it's like too much
Fair.
of an effort.
Mm.
I would rather spend my time. doing
Super
other stuff.
question. You ready?
Go ahead.
Somebody called you and said he's dying tomorrow. Would you be there? I don't mean to fuck you up, but this is so I want that question I just asked you is a lot in how I run my life is that at the end, when it's my last moment, who's going to be there at your bedside and are they going to have it to be there with you?
The way I look at it is he has plenty of other kids
Okay.
and I don't need to be there.
All right.
I mean, maybe I'd say a couple words to him on the phone if I could, but I'm not going to, because he's in a different state. So I'm not going to up and just go to a different state.
Right.
That makes sense. Because he's, like I said,
Well, he didn't do what he needed to do to give you to show you the respect for you to get on a plane and go there, be by his side, hold his hand in his last breath.
What it really
That's
was,
his fault.
Yeah. Well,
Not yours.
thanks for that. But my thing with him is everybody makes mistakes, and he made mistakes when he was 18. But then when I was of age, and when I think I was like 13 or something like that, I came back into his life, and everything was hunky dory there. But then once I turned 18, he could have kept me on his insurance, but instead of keeping me on his insurance, he cut me on his insurance. So at that point in time, I thought to myself, oh, well, I guess my health doesn't really fucking matter to you.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I'm like, all right, then if you don't care that much about me and my health, why should I fucking, why would I go out on a limb for you? And that's just how I've been ever since.
Tough
I mean,
one.
there's a couple
Super
times.
tough.
There's like a time he showed up when he was like inebriated and just unannounced to my family and stuff. That's not appropriate or fair to us or something like that. So I wasn't a dick about it. I was nice and kind of like let the situation happen, and he went on his way or whatever then. But I was just like, like, it's I feel like it would be more of a toxicity in my life than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you don't need any of it.
No, I didn't need, obviously I didn't need you for my life. I'm pretty successful. You know what I mean? I didn't need you for anything. Why the fuck do I need you now? You didn't need to keep care of me and care about my health. You could have kept me on your insurance until I was 25. You cut me fucking 7 years early, bro.
He's not calling you every week to see how you're doing.
No, I mean, his fiance or whatever, wife now tried or whatever. And I said, listen, you're not going to be the knight in shining armor and just get us back together. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
I'm too far too gone.
I'm 40 some years old. Like,
never too late.
What do you want from me? Unless you have to feel it's toxicity, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it might get worse.
People change though. People change for the better sometimes.
Sometimes. You said it.
Sometimes.
Speaking of toxicity, male toxicity.
Male toxicity
is being blamed on fathers when they are there. How do you guys feel about male toxicity?
Explain that a little bit. Can you go in more depth? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, what's the definition of that?
Because we're not allowing them to change their gender.
So the definition is violence, destruction.
Oh, just being a man is bad.
Dominance.
That's all male
okay, how about we just
stoicism.
Just male traits.
Taking risks.
Male traits.
Disregarding fear.
Male traits.
Hold on a second. So
this is male toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Well,
they're raising
backwards. How about we go back to the statistics that you statistically do better when a father is involved. So
exactly.
Take that argument and shove it up your ass.
How about the fact that women are actually pursuing more feminine men? That is becoming a trend now.
That's because they want to be alpha in the relationship and run the house.
And then they complain the whole time.
That's not a true woman. A true woman wants a significant other, one to help lead.
Right.
Frankie needs to start wearing long sleeves and cut that beard, dude.
Yeah. What do you mean?
No.
Well, according to this, you're never going to get laid wearing that shirt with that beard.
I'm like, what the fuck did I just say? Did I say something wrong?
Holy shit, dude.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
you're toxic.
Here's the thing.
Calm down there.
The thing about it is that's not a real man. A real man...
Start crying.
Why would you say? Yeah, there you go. Now you're gonna get laid. There it is. That's perfect. That's the only way.
You're gonna be sought after. He's rubbing his nipples.
All right. So where was I? Well, that's the thing about. Oh, that's right. That's the thing about men. Like, if you're a true man, you keep all that shit at bay. You can be fucking aggressive. You can be every fucking trait that you just said was toxic masculinity, but a real man holds it at bay until it's fucking time.
Right. You have to know when to use it.
Yeah.
Like, when
it's time.
When it's time to be a man, when it's time to be an alpha, or when it's time to be a sigma, or when it's time to be a beta. Like, you have to know like when to be those, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. That was fun watching you guys get so riled up.
Like, oh my God, that's horrible.
You also got to look at who you're raising too. I mean, I have two girls.
Yeah.
It's a completely different planet when you're raising two boys. I mean, I'm like, your kids are over, they're beating the shit out of each other, throwing football across the parking lot, and I'm up there like changing Barbies and fucking put DVDs of Moana in. It's like we're in a whole nother planet. So like
getting your ass kicked by your youngest daughter.
Yeah. So it's like, where are you at? Like, one moment we're going hunting and gutting deer, and the next night I'm taking her to dance lessons. I mean, that's where you got to be. And it's like to be toxic masculinity, I'd be like almost like I'd have to force my kids to like I don't know, be a man. Like, well, you're fucking riding four-wheeler, you're not going to dance lessons.
Right.
I don't know, like, how would you be toxic as a man? I mean, that would be the only way I could think of, is being overly retarded.
Yeah,
and not letting your kids be themselves.
Not the definition.
You know what I mean?
It's
that
crazy.
would be like trying to be like,
right.
But when you're raising girls, I mean, shit. I mean, you're putting makeup on, doing everything that you need to do to be, Barbie movies. That's what I mean. It's not Transformers.
I quoted on the other.
You know what I mean. Like,
I did from watching with Molly.
Which
You know.
which part? I remember.
Rare
that.
is the flower.
Oh
that
yeah, you're.
Oh,
I said that. I'm the one that said that was Mulan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Wrong one. Yeah, wrong one. Yeah, no,
Um,
I don't know. Man.
I mean, well, my 16-year-old, I take her to the gym just so she knows that, you know, a 225 bench is not really, you know, don't be with some squid. You know what I mean?
right. Come on, find one that is
You
the
know
one
what I
now.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck, you know,
If that 13-year-old boy can't lift up at least 400 pounds, you're not dating.
Don't be easily impressed. Look at your old man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't be easily impressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I try to be, you know, make her be independent as a girl. You know, teach. You know, I play with her, and you know, whatever. When she was growing up, we did dollies and stuff. When she's a teenager, it's harder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's doing all makeup and stuff. You know, being an ass, telling me she's going to do my makeup.
Well, of course you can't be braiding hair. We don't know. I mean,
I don't know how to braid hair.
you need if you need
Bald
oil,
braid your
if you
beard?
need oil
Let
change,
her
we can
braid
help you
your
with that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. No, but I try to teach her stuff. We tinker together and do soldering. She knows how to solder and stuff.
you got to give your kids credit too. They know that too.
Yeah, yeah.
They know dad's not going to be, you know,
Yeah.
going to try shoes on with me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
know. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well,
hopefully your kids are cool enough that you raised them right. That they're not going to be pissed off. You know that you're not.
I am absolutely ruining my daughter. She is going to be the most spoiled woman on this planet. She's my daughter. I'm already wrapped around her finger.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
She got brothers though. That'll help.
does.
That helps though too. That they
It
have
does.
brothers that'll
Yeah.
give them a little bit of a tough love. Male.
And I go to leave for work in the morning and she starts crying. I said, I'm late. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to do. I got to pick her up. It just breaks my heart every
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fatherlessness is affecting everyone because these are the people that go to jail. These are the people that leave houses. These are the people that leave other people in poverty. Where is the solution to this?
Wow.
It's a tough one.
Ching,
Yeah.
ching, ching. Yeah, that's I said it before. Greatest thing I learned from is failures. So like you would think if you saw your parents really fuck up, screw up, this wasn't right. I know how I felt, you know, from 8 on that shit wasn't cool. Maybe in my relationship, I'm going to be a completely different father to my kids so they don't go through that shit. Apparently that's not the case. You know what I mean? Apparently people just go, it's the dominoes just keep going the wrong way.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse as it goes down. You think people would be like, fuck, I don't want my kid to do that. I'm not gonna leave my pregnant wife and never talk to her again.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say,
But that's not the case.
God.
The issue I have with that. So without my dad, I learned to shave, drive, all the manly things I learned without him.
Mhm.
I did have a stepdad, but I mostly learned everything. He wasn't really in the house with me as I was growing up. He was a visit the stepdad type of guy. Still a great guy. But I learned all that stuff on my own. And the thing that I noticed was there's a lot of things I learned that I didn't want to do, the should nots of a father from my father.
Of course.
But I didn't have any directions on what the shoulds are.
Yeah.
And that fucked me up. And I failed and I stumbled and I'm still learning to this day. And I think that's a big part of why it gets repeated because you don't have somebody saying, this is where I screwed up. This is where you could do it better.
So I'm thinking you're looking for like a solution, right? And I'm obviously I'm not an expert on any of these topics here, but what I like and what I've experienced throughout my life that I think helped mold me to who I am and put me in the direction that I'm in is I had my friends' parents that treated me very well all the time. You know, if I went out for, like, I would get grounded out of my house for a weekend. My grandfather was old school, was like, nope, don't come back till Sunday night on a Friday after school. So I'd have to go like find places to sleep. I had to sleep at my cousin's house a few times. I'd have to stay at my buddy Dylan and Kevin's house. I'd have to stay, like, I've stayed at your house plenty of times. So I think it's important that people remember when your kids have friends over and you are one of these good parents that have a good mindset, treat those kids well, because they might not go home to love. They might not go home to the type of parenting that they need. So if you could help mold them and show them the right path, you could change a lot of lives. And I think that would be a good solution in fixing some of that.
That was
well
beautiful.
said.
Very
Yep.
good. So I think another way, I like what you said there about the child even going out and looking for those things.
Mhm.
And the father of children, when their friends come over, bring in those kids and give them a fatherly role model.
Mhm.
Because we're talking character. Yes, the muscles and all that's fine. The money's fine. But none of that fucking matters. Character does.
Yeah.
And that's what is really important. Just you being around that other kid. There's an interesting story, and I'm going to get back to what else a single mother or kids can look for in a minute. But I want to share the story from the beginning of the episode. I said I would. And you guys tell me about this, because there was an interview done on a.
Your mic is muted. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll start off.
Thank you.
No.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry.
This episode is structured so different.
Well, yeah. That's fine.
Are you good, Frank, or should I wait?
We also have Dan. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So there was an interview done on a child predator named Jack Reynolds. Now, he was a famous predator that was caught in the 80s. And they interviewed him and they said, what is it that you look for in children when you're going to abduct these kids? And he said, it's not what the kid has. It's whether there's a strong father around. He wouldn't even consider that kid.
Really?
Now, I know hollow dads are shit.
That's creepy shit.
Yeah.
That is creepy shit. I know they're losers. So what do you expect?
Yeah.
Cowards.
Cowards.
Those the words, yeah, you
Yes.
called them.
Maybe that's why they want everybody to get rid of this toxic male masculinity. So
Yeah.
Mm.
weak and easily preyed upon.
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't
True.
say.
Yeah. Interesting.
Who says there's too much testosterone in the population? Practically a lot of.
They're all fucking weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, well,
No
I mean,
offense.
Oh, why are you saying that to me?
I mean, no offense to
right,
Yeah.
I forgot.
There might be some normal people that think,
yeah,
testosterone.
it's now
is bad.
proud. It's now proud to have low T among men. Some kids are like, "Oh my
Ah.
god, my testosterone's like 150." Oh my god, nah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a hollow dad is shit, but presence really does matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's a
having-
positive.
It is a
deterrent.
positive to that
It's a
type of dad. I mean, you need to be more present for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a deterrent.
Yeah, it is exactly a deterrent.
I'm not gonna go after this guy. He's gonna punch me in my face.
Yeah. And I think getting back to where we were then, I just want to get that out of the way. So
Yeah.
people weren't like, where was the story?
Sorry.
There's also Big Brother. That's a positive male role model. There's also sports.
Yeah.
There's so many coaches that, I mean,
yeah.
you guys have talked about them. They're positive male role models.
I had an uncle.
Uncles,
Got me
family.
into wrestling, or not wrestling. Well, yeah, wrestling and lifting. Introduced me to wrestling.
So actually, I had where I lived, right up the street from me, there was this guy, and I'll say his name, Charlie Fees, and I think he's like a big reason why I wanted to have a strong work ethic. Because like as I would ride my bike by his house, like every day, he'd always wave me, and he'd call me over some days, and he'd be like, "Hey, cut my grass. I'll pay you $40, something like that." He would do that like
Dang.
all the time. He was perfectly capable of doing it himself. He always did. But it was just, and then he would always have like these heart to hearts with me where he'd be like, because he didn't have kids, he wanted kids, and him and his wife were trying for a long time and they couldn't, and he would always be like, "Listen, man, there's always two paths you can take in life, man. There's the wrong path and the right path." And he's like, whenever you come to that fork in the road, it's up to you to make the right choice. And he'd always say that to me, and man, that's stuck. And every time I would come to that like fork in the road there, I would always be like, is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? And if it was the wrong thing, I didn't do it, or I tried my best to stay away from that. And that guy, and it would like stuck with me through, it was like a core value I had throughout my whole life then, and I always thought about that. And, but he taught me a lot. He taught me how to have a strong work for things that I want. He had all these really cool toys. Like he had he had he had like a show truck that he had in all these shows. It was like this big brown, I don't even know what it was, like an old Bronco or something. It was awesome. And he had quads and he had side by sides. He had all kinds of stuff. And he's like, I worked hard my whole life to get this stuff, you know? And he's like, if you work hard, you can get it too. You know, and that was just something great that just got like instilled in me from like an early age. And now it's like, I just want to work. I just want to work and do good. I want to be able to have a nice life. And I want to give my kids that too. I want them to be able to pursue their dreams and have the tools that they need to get to wherever they want to be. So.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. There's also churches.
Hmm.
You have the churches. You have volunteer organizations. There is some mentorship places out there too. They're hard to find. But Big Brother isn't. So there is something you can do as a single mother to find some sort of positive role models for your kids.
Strip clubs.
Yeah.
Get the wow. Wow.
That was Frank's.
Always
big
find
brother.
role models at strip clubs.
The DJ.
Yeah.
The DJ.
Yeah. All right.
Rub and tugs.
And next is our favorite, Peaches. She's from Georgia. She's 5'3". She loves farmers. And she can't wait to dance. Everybody.
Put your hands together
I haven't fantasized about being.
Oh, good God.
Come on,
DJ
being
ever.
a teenager?
Yeah,
a DJ?
DJ. Yeah, no, I've never thought about that.
All right.
All right, so back to Christianity.
You mean this isn't the porn episode?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. You gotta watch that one.
Yeah, that's sports. Like we talked about that before, and where that can get you. You know, you have a kid that's not on the right path a little bit, get them in some structure around other guys, put them in a group that they can work hard and get a common goal. And then when they start kicking ass and realize what you can do, and hopefully they're on a winning team and they can see what that gets you. I mean, that's like going to work. I mean, same thing.
Hard work.
You know, sacrificing. I'm not hanging out with my friends. I got 3 hours of practice. Yeah. I got to go in Saturday morning and practice for 4 hours, you know, and then when you win a championship, it's like, that paid off.
It's worth it. Yeah.
That paid off. It's not a financial coin thing, but it's, you know, and back, the sports now aren't the way they were. Back then, that was community. Like church, same thing in my eyes, you know, and people believed, you know, had banners up, you know, your names are out in the town, you know, those kind of things. You had respect, you know, and that maybe at that time when you were 17, you didn't get it. You do now. Looking back, like if we want to sit here and reflect, you could go back. I didn't realize what was happening at that time until 20 years later. Oh shit, this is what carried me through. These are the building blocks I had. And that could be, like you said, somebody that's a little lost on the, you know, not on the right path, and that could put them on the right path. I had a coach that grabbed me to one time when I was a dick, man. When I was in high school, I was class clown, always having fun, too much partying, having a great time, and I can't remember exactly what I was doing. I was fucking around the hallway being a dick, and we tripped somebody doing something. When one coach grabbed me, man, and he fucking threw me up against the wall. He's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing is your name. What, coach? Like your name. That's what you are. It's like you can either be great or you could be a shithead. You're a shithead right now. And I was like, what? You know? And he was right. He was right. I was always dicking around, and I kind of straightened myself out a little bit, you know, and that guy was great. I think of him to this day, Coach Shields, man, from Pottsville. You know, he was my coach at Blue Mountain. He was awesome. He had a brotherhood kind of thing going on there, and he always like pulled me aside a little bit and like kind of helped me out a little bit, you know, and he always was like, when I wasn't doing things right or whatever, if he heard I did something wrong, but he always pat you on the back when you did things right. And yeah, that stuck with me a little bit. That one time where he caught me screwing off, you know, and he just like said the right thing that got in my brain. And if I wouldn't have been at the right place, I probably would have blown that off. But like that stuck with me a little bit. Like,
Crazy how those little moments happen in your life, and you know,
yeah, don't be mooning people in the parking lot anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Frank still does that.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
Depends if I drink.
Planet Fitness.
That's why I don't drink.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I feel that.
We're going streaking on the quad. Yeah. Frank the Tank. I'll turn right into Frank the Tank. Going streaking. You ever see that movie?
No.
Okay, never mind. Old school.
You're too masculine.
Yeah. You should tone down a
Start
little
crying.
bit. I only moon people when I'm upset. I'm upset a lot.
Now it's okay. Anyway, go ahead. What's up?
But I identify as a moon.
What?
So I had the peekaboo dat. No, what did I have? Peekaboo?
You have a moon tattoo
had the what?
anywhere on your
Peekaboo?
body.
I had a peekaboo.
Not a
Frank had a
That's the only thing you don't have is you need a fucking moon.
Peekaboo.
Where am I going to put a moon?
Would it be a full moon or like a crescent?
Oh, I got a big ass. It's going to be a full moon, baby.
You want a full moon, detailed, or just like a smiley face?
With
on it?
craters, of
A
course.
craters, yeah.
Okay,
A crater full moon.
What the fuck? I have no
I
idea
don't
where
know.
that
I chimed
happened.
in at the wrong time in that part of the
Look at
conversation.
shading in
All I
it.
heard
Real
was
good.
something
Don't worry
about
about it.
having
Real quick,
craters on
this
his
is super
ass.
fucked up. I just need to quick ask. The other night something happened to me. I almost fell out of my truck. I was spotlighting with a friend. This is so fucked up. I don't know. I just got to bring this up. I just got to ask this while you guys are here in case I'm not doing. And I looked over in the sky, and I literally almost fell out of my truck. I saw Starlink. Did anybody see that thing yet?
No.
Like the band of them?
Yeah, dude, I completely was like, what the? And it was the whole bead of lights in the sky, and it like turned red and was gone. And I was like, dude, it like freaked me out so bad. I was, it's Starlink. And I'm like, well, I didn't fucking see that yet. I seen pictures of it.
What's
But-
Starlink? What
I've
is
seen
that?
pictures.
It's
That's,
Elon Musk.
Musk.
It's all the things
Yeah.
they have up.
There's a lot of satellites.
Oh, when you see it, you're gonna lose your mind. It's freaky deaky. Like when you see that thing, it's like a whole line of beads.
We're actually not real. This is all AI. Just so you know. This is
no.
this is all AI. We're not even real. We're in a simulation.
I wonder
It's
if you,
the
is there a
Matrix.
website that
What
you
it
can
is.
track his satellites?
No, they're all over.
No,
It's like,
anyways,
sorry.
back to father.
I just wanted to know if anybody else saw it.
I
so
didn't see
wasn't-
that.
If
But
anybody
now I'm
else saw it
curious.
and had that same thing happen, because
It's
I
not
almost
me.
fell out of the truck.
Yeah, it's not you this time.
I went
I'm
off the rails.
shocked.
I went off the rails. Sorry, I completely
No,
went off
it's
the
okay.
rails.
No,
It's just
good.
Frank does that 14 times in his podcast. So we're
I'm sure it's more than that.
truck.
Squirrel.
I got you back. No, it just happened.
Okay, good.
It just
good,
happened. So no, you're not the only one that that freaks out, things like that. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure I would freak the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, for real. That's some like end time stuff.
It was weird.
I'm good. All right.
Not something you're used to seeing.
You're good. I checked everybody else.
What you finding?
This is not about fatherlessness. My fault.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Don't yell at me. I'm weak.
All right. So I think one of the key elements to fatherlessness is marriage.
If they're married, they tend to stay more, or what? What?
The destruction of it and the lack of sacredness of marriage.
We're talking about secretions?
No, I used the wrong word.
Like, I can make some if you'd like.
Because I have a study here. In 1960, 4% of single parents weren't married.
4% of single parents weren't married. I guess not.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't 100% of single parents? No, never mind. I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah, no,
okay,
yeah,
I got
that's, yeah. Now, 52% are not married.
Holy shit.
That's
Big
a
jump.
lot.
Big fucking jump because marriage ain't shit anymore. In 1960s, 15% were fatherless. And now we're at 30. What are you doing to me?
I was
30%.
He's looking up the
All right, I know that one at least.
Actually, he said, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Whatever.
That's what.
Sorry, I'm a genius
effect.
with
That's the.
movie quotes.
That's the.
That's your weird
that's the-
superpower.
that's the-
It's such a weird superpower to have, dude.
I think fatherlessness too, you got to remember it comes down to two, obviously staying with the woman that's the mother of your children.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
And I know, I mean, I love my wife more than anybody on the planet besides my children. And I think if those times are hard, everybody's going to go through rough times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you're gonna have ups and downs, right?
If you don't, something's wrong.
Yeah, you're gonna have ups and downs. You need to know how to fight nice. You need to know how to apologize. We can go on a whole marriage thing about that, but I think that what we're getting to is like, I can't. There's no goddamn way I would let anybody else raise my children.
Oh no,
there is no fucking way, no goddamn way, and that makes me work a million times harder when maybe I feel like I'm right and I'm not. You know, we keep talking about fatherlessness, but it is the truth of it's about a relationship too with your wife. I mean, we all got to talk. I mean, we all got to be serious. I mean, real.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be. And maybe people have kids and they're not really in love with their wife. I mean, we can go down that path too, which sucks.
Or they stay with them. Stay with the
stay with the wrong real reasons, and all the wrong reasons. But that's also being a great parent. You know, and you know if you know you want to be with somebody, sleep with somebody. I mean, you might deal with them the rest of your life, and. Are you a lover or are you a fucker? Depends on what kind of person you are and how you look at women and all the different things. But when you have children, whether it's an accident or on purpose, that's when you need to buck up. And I think guys, some people, 80-20, remember that?
80-20.
There's going to be some people just aren't ever going to get it. They're meatheads and it just don't matter. Kids don't matter, like whatever the reason is. But for the rest of us, man, you don't have that kids are everything thing. It sucks for the kids, but I am. I mean, I'm gonna when it comes down to brass tacks. You know, I got to put my kids first, and that means fucking apologize whether you think you're right or not to the mom, your wife. You know, you love your life, whatever, and you got to make it work for them. That's what we're talking about, kids and fatherlessness. I mean, that's you know, we're not. This isn't a podcast about your wife, but. Right. You need to make it work with their mother.
Yeah. So I was the same way for a long time. Like the idea of another person, another man being involved with my boys at the time, you know, I was like, man, and my blood would boil when I thought of it.
Yeah.
And when I found out that my kid's mom got back with the guy she was dating before me and that he was treating her bad. And then I heard he said some bad stuff about my kids and I wasn't sure what to believe. Like every part of me wanted to just go beat the living shit out of this guy. And I didn't. And now I'm, you know, they're married and my kids love him. And, you know, he's good to them. He treats them good now. Him and I, we haven't really talked, but we're just kind of getting to decent terms where we can kind of be around each other. Yeah. You know, and
good place.
But, and he just had a really bad accident. I hope to God he you know gets better, you know, and can come home for Christmas and stuff. But I was like that for a long time. I really did not want another man in my life, but now he is a positive influence on them now, and I see that, and it's kind of opened up my eyes a little bit more on that, you know. And I hope now my boys are a little different. They're a little bit tougher, you know. I don't know about my daughter, man. I don't know if I'd be able to handle another man in my daughter's life. So I might be.
Oh, that's also good, Dad, though. You were worried about it. I mean, you should have been mad.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody's like, fuck it. I don't care who kid raises my kids. That's screwed up too. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, that's good for, I mean.
I was like that. Like, I didn't just bring anybody around my kids. Like when I was single and I was dating and like, if I had my kids over, I wasn't bringing women around at all.
Absolutely.
Not once. It was like, well, I have my kids this week and they're like, oh, I love kids. I don't care if you love kids and you're not coming over while my kids are here. Sorry, but I don't know you. I don't want you to meet them yet. And that's kind of how I was. And I was like that for a long time. And it even took me a long time with the girl I'm dating right now. We have a daughter together, but it took me, I want to say it was probably like 6 months before or more that we were talking before she even met my kids, you know? And, I think that's something people you got to take that seriously, who you bring around your kids. You have to take that seriously.
Especially when they're little.
Yeah.
Cause man, they're so, you can imprint.
Yeah. Well, what was that statistic? You said at the one time that by the time they're a certain age, they already have like the imprint for like who they're going to be throughout their whole life. You know,
Yeah.
3 or something, right?
it was like 2.5 or something like that. Or
Oh, I can see
3.
that. Yeah,
By
right. You could
age
tell your
3,
kids
yeah.
by the time your kids
That was
3,
in
you
the
know if they're going to
determinism
be a dick
episode
or
that
not.
we had.
Determinism
Yeah.
episode.
Determinism episode.
Yeah.
That's another good. That one's going to be a good one.
So I could actually pull that up.
Yeah, but that was like a crazy statistic. Like it was like a certain percentage, like or a certain age, they already had like the imprint of who they're going to be throughout their whole life. Yeah.
3.5 years old.
3.5 by 3.5 years
At
old.
3.5 years old. The Journal of Child Development did a study in 2014 and found that the influence they receive in the first 3.5 years of life influences their future as regards to better peers, better degrees, better pay, romantically, and loving homes.
Think about that.
It's also tough.
And it was also I think it was a 30 or 40 year study that they followed these kids. It wasn't just like, oh, here's
I
this
believe
and
that.
that.
Yeah.
They
But
actually
it's
followed
also,
them.
I know, like take, with Bella, my first daughter, obviously she didn't have a sister.
Yeah.
And Lydia has an older sister.
Yeah.
So like things are going to be different. So no matter what you try to do, you say, I raised them exactly the same. Like, no.
you
They
didn't.
have an
Somebody
older,
says
now
that,
there's,
they're
now they have
wrong.
an
Right.
older sister now, so she's going to be a little different. There's fighting. Like Bella had everything, full attention, and now there's
other influences.
yeah, you can't, there's no way you can raise you can't say that, be like, I raised every kid exactly. That's impossible. You know what I mean?
Impossible.
They're in the same environment,
Yeah.
but there's so many things that are going to be a little different that are going to influence them that you can't control.
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, but the second kid that you have is normally it's not your first rodeo. So the first time you're like, oh, what the fuck do I do? I don't fucking know. I don't
Second
understand.
kid don't
that.
give
And
a
the second
shit
kid's
about
like,
anything.
let them fucking do whatever. I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't know why.
does it hurt? Rub it off, or walk it off, or rub some dirt in it, or whatever. You're fine. You know what I mean?
Second kid don't give a shit about anything.
No.
My son Aries don't fucking get. I could tell him 1,000 times to do something. He don't give a shit what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Episode on family order.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
That
a good
would be
one.
a great one, dude.
I'll do it on my order.
As far as what you're talking about, another guy in the scenario or whatever, I didn't have a choice with that. My daughter's mom had my daughter staying 2 blocks down the street from her with an ex-boyfriend. And that the grandmother was living next to her, and children and youth were involved and everything. And children and youth said it was fine.
Wow.
And I had to do, that even though it doesn't seem kosher, she's in a nice place. She's not being, attacked by the dude or anything like that. And the dude's a nice guy. Like, he's coming to my daughter's birthday party. At least he said he was.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything against him. I feel like he was more of a blessing and a curse per se. Like, I should have really had my kid, not you.
Yeah.
But in all scheme of things, I'd rather anybody have her but the mother, because the mother is like a huge trigger to my kid. She's, just think about that. You're literally 2 blocks away from your mom. She's not even spending time to come down and see her or nothing like that.
I went through that my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, and now
I went through it my whole life.
She's been with me for 3 years and hasn't talked to her mom in 2.5 of it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, it sucks.
But nonetheless, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Frame of mind as the kids get older changes. So, I mean, just think of where you were, any kid, as they get older and how they change and who they want to live with. And then they could start figuring things out a little bit.
That's why I waited for her to be a little bit older, because I was starting to look at the laws. Yeah. And as a father, they don't really like to take custody off the mother. And things aren't the most kosher in this county. So I left things in the county that she resided in. I didn't even move everything here. I left it there because this county's not kosher. Yeah. From everything that I've been talking to people and stuff.
They side with mothers a lot.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give back, and even with drugs are involved, like it's just not a good scenario. So I said, all right.
I will say one thing though. I know around here they don't like when one parent like keeps a kid from another parent.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
Yeah. We got to prove that.
True.
But nonetheless, so I mean, like I said, with another guy in this scenario, as long as the guy's a good guy and he's treating your ex and the kid well, you'd be grateful, because otherwise she can have a shitbag that's not treating the mother well and showing your kid how not to treat a woman.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that, or how a man should treat you or should not treat you, or something like that. So if and that's in my case, like you with 2 girls, But nonetheless, at least they'll see an example of how things should be. So be grateful that there's a man, because it's different for me. Like I didn't have, my dad wasn't around, but I had my stepdads from when I was 5, and he really, did a lot for me and showed me along the ropes. And that's why I was like, it is what it is. He's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But he, he showed me love and everything like that. So it means a lot. So to me, I think there should be another father on your list there of like, the not the real father, not the biological father, but the guy that came into the relationship that is now treating that child like they're their own. Like that's come on, that's the most, selfless thing you can do.
Yeah.
Is be like, I know I'm not your dad, but I would love to be. And I want to treat you like you're my kid because I love you like that. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? See, I'm the tattoos are all facade. I'm really a weakling and girls.
you're really a big soft teddy bear, Frank.
But you know what I mean? But so best advice I give anybody, don't get angry if the dude's a good dude.
Yeah.
Get angry if the dude's an asshole and a shitbag and treating your ex like an asshole, treating your kid like an asshole. Even if you don't like your ex, if he's treating your ex like an asshole, it should still piss you off because your kid's seeing it.
Yeah. That's what pissed me off a lot. Is because I heard like he would yell at her and flip out at her in front of my kids, and I was getting from people that were with them like when it was happening. I knew a couple of the guys that they hung out with, so I was getting stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that. With like I had a couple stepfathers that kind of came into my life and tried to be more involved in my life than my own mom. So, they definitely deserve, well, one in particular deserves some credit, and he knows who he is. So,
Yeah. So interesting segue here. So single mothers, here's an interesting statistic. The parents that are single parents have 2 times the risk of mood disorders and substance abuse. This is a study done in 2011. So if you're a single parent, you have 2 times the risk, right? Mothers are 2 times the risk as fathers on top of that. And also higher risk of psychiatric disorders, which is weird.
Women are more at risk for psychiatric disorders?
That's a new.
Oh my God.
We're done.
This is just breaking right now. Breaking news. You heard it first here.
Yeah.
The substance abuse was new.
Yeah.
So women are
I
more
wasn't
likely to be
expecting that.
crazier than guys? Is that what you just
I
said?
know that. I
Is that
fully
on that
understand.
We're canceled
That's on
today.
that computer. We didn't say that.
No.
It's now
Holy
in facts.
shit.
We can quote it.
I'm
Wow,
sorry.
I don't know. That's true. That's crazy.
I was telling them. I'm telling the
I keep
viewers.
forgetting you keep going to the camera.
That's horse shit right there.
That was
Those are
just
perfect.
Yeah. What the hell?
Especially
I don't
mom.
believe your research.
The more
Yeah.
kids women have, the less crazier they get.
Yeah.
That's a statistic, right?
I don't know what you guys are
Just made
talking
that
about, but I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just hurt.
98% of women. Yeah, I said, oh, good Lord.
I'm soft and I'm hurt. I'm super soft over here.
Ah.
Frank to say super soft.
Yes.
Super soft.
Yeah, listen to all you guys and everything you said. I don't know. I same thing. Like for me, I just, I grew up, my dad passed away when it's weird. I can't remember exactly when I like figured out my dad was dead. Like, I don't know. I think about that a lot. And it was like, I always knew it, like my dad passed away in this crazy helicopter accident. And I can't really I can't put it to a day. Like, was I 2, 4, 5? The funny thing is, I do remember, like, the earliest thing is, I always thought, when you're little and you think of things like, I thought that Billy Joel song, Only the Good Die Young.
Yeah.
I thought they like wrote that about my dad.
Aw.
Like for some reason, like when I was a kid,
Ah.
because like I remember that I don't know how old I was when that happened, but like, and then I had some incredible people in my life that where I'm at now, unfortunately, this sounds horrible. Like everybody's dead, but like my two best friends are like my two stepdads.
Wow,
Wow.
that's cool.
You know what I
That's
mean?
cool.
I have the
Oh,
two
that's
Bruces,
cool.
Bruce Bond, Bruce and Ziggy. They're still, I talk to them, you know, multiple times a week. I'd take a goddamn bullet for both those guys. They're in my you know, they're part of my family. They're great. My mom, you know, unfortunately passed away. And I had there was men in between those guys, and I got to see a broad spectrum of life that if you just had a dad, you wouldn't get to see. I mean, legitimately. So like my Uncle Kevin, fortunately passed away. He was always there for me from birth. Uncle Kev. My grandfather, Kermit, amazing man, World War II vet, Okinawa. I mean, crazy, you know, it was there. Crazy shit. Farmer, lost two of his children, worked his ass off, truck driver, kept it together. It was awesome. He passed away in my life when I was 12. I mean, that's an influential time. Talk about losing somebody that you live with. Uncle Kevin just passed away a couple of years ago too, screwed me up. And my mom passed away when my daughter was a year old. So like everybody I grew up with, my grandmother, I lived with her for a couple of years when my mom went crazy. Like every single person I had that was quote a parent died. I thought about that the other day. I was talking about my daughter Bella about that, and she's now 13. I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, when I was 13, like the 5 people I lived with since I was born died. Like I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
She has no clue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hero. She's so blessed that she didn't have to go through losing somebody like that. Like that fucks you up bad.
Yeah.
You know, I get a little
know.
unsympathetic when people have problems because of that. 'Cause I think like I should have fucking jumped off a roof like a lot, you know, and it really fucked me up bad. And somehow never saw a therapist, never did anything, just worked hard and just muddled through it myself. Never really dealt with it. Just kept on going. And that's why it like pisses me off when I hear these statistics, because that does not fucking resonate to my children.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or how, like,
Right.
just because I grew up without a dad, it fucking makes me work harder to be a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's like that's what fucking pisses me off when I hear that shit. Cause it's like, that's my engine.
Yeah.
That's what's, you know, my fuel. Like, don't fucking die. You know what I mean? And like, do the best you can for your kids, because I know what I went through and it hardened me, you know, and all these statistics you're saying about, you know, my mom tried her best, did her best. And, you know, what she went through with all the different men in my life. And if you really want me to say it, I'll say it. And it comes down to the fact that I think she was always in love with my dad. So when my dad died, she never could replace him. And I think that's what she tried to do, you know? Yeah. And I think the men in my life loved me so much and we were so close. It kept her to be with them longer than maybe she should have. And I don't know if she was ever going to be with the man of her life because he died. It wasn't her fault either. I never, at the time, I was so mad at her because she couldn't just like fucking settle down. Give me what I want. Like you said, you go over to other people's family. I go over there and they're like going on family vacations. And mine, they have the brothers and sisters in the minivan. And I'm like, fuck, like my mom's, I don't know where my mom's at. She's with her new boyfriend this weekend. You know, like that's like, and I'm like, and they're like, you know, like, God damn it. Like, why can't I be them? And it's, now looking back at it, I don't blame her now. Like I wish I would be where I was 25 years ago when I fucking hated her for it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it, you know, and now you understand love and the trials of marriage and being with people and falling in out of love and all those things. I didn't know that when I was 17. I was pissed at my mom for the shit she was pulling. But yeah, all having different dads and all the things you go through in life. I'm glad. Listen, I know I would fucking throw all this away and live in a fucking tent in this pouring down rainstorm right now if I could see my dad for fucking millisecond. I mean a millisecond. Just to fucking, you know, even if he was on the other side of the barn, just to fucking see him for a millisecond, I'd throw it all away. millisecond. I'm not there. Never will. Never happened. But looking at the other way, every single thing that happened the way it is made me to the second. It had to happen lined up perfectly to be where I'm at right now. So it all happened for a reason. It's disgusting to say my dad died for me to be where I'm at right now. Like, that's disgusting to say that, but it's the truth. Would I even have met my wife? Would I have my kids? Like, all them dominoes, you know, would that have happened exactly that way? Nope. No. I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
So, and I saw different aspects of life. I mean, my mom literally, you know, dated a brain doctor. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'd take a bullet for that fucker in 2 seconds. He called me up right now. I'd be at his house if he needed me in 2 seconds. And he showed me the finer things in life. You know, coming from a farm in McKeesburg, all of a sudden we're in Philadelphia. I'm going to orchestras and going to Phillies games and doing different shit there, you know, and all the different people. And you just see different things. I don't know. I mean, I'd say my Uncle Kevin, Bruce Baum, Bruce Fidzicki, those three guys are who I really, really, really looked up to. And to this day, I still strive to make Kevin and all the people who passed before me, I still think about them every single day. And I'm conducting my life as if they were alive, and would they be proud of me?
I like that.
That's exactly how I produce everything I do. Is, will they be happy with me, what I'm doing? And the ones that are, and Bruce and, you know, the guys that are still alive, are they happy with me?
Yeah.
You know, I live my life for the people who aren't here as much as I do for the people who are. I know it might sound a little weird, but, you know, I think about them all the fucking time. Actually, I think about the people who died in my life probably as much as I do about the people who are alive.
I think if they could see you now,
that's the truth.
they'd be proud of you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. But
like they say,
sure.
the same boiling water that makes a potato soft to make an egg hard, you know? So.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's.
And the thing is, though, maybe everything's so skewed because you had a great legacy. Most people don't. Their dads are dicks, douchebags,
Yeah,
losers.
True. Yeah.
They have nothing to push forward to make proud.
Yeah,
you know
no.
what I mean? So I mean, I think that might be part of the other side of why it seems like the statistics are so odd. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to make my dad proud. I couldn't care less. You know what I mean? He wants to go drink himself to death. Hey.
Well, maybe you're doing a little different. You're
I'm
trying to make your kids proud.
Yes. I'm trying to build something on my name so it has meaning for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You're exactly right. I'm not in that. I don't have anybody. I mean, I'm really trying to rack my brain right now. No, I don't have that where couldn't care less about somebody who came before me or raised me. Every one of them, I'm
kind of like that with my mom and dad.
The helicopter. What do you mean he died in a helicopter?
He did. Yeah. He was going home right there in McKeesburg, got in a car wreck. They hit a pole. Unfortunately, the driver passed away on impact. There's 2 passengers in the back seat. When the car hit the pole, flew around, they actually were ejected out the back. And then when the pole came in, it hit my dad in his upper leg, lower groin area. And he wasn't good. And it was actually the second medevac ever called from Lehigh Valley Medical from Allentown. Came, picked him up, and they had, it's undetermined. There's all kinds of different things that they said could have caused a wreck, but they picked him up right in front of everybody. Went up, traveled about a quarter mile, and what they think the pilot was, noticing they had an issue with the motor and tried to land and hit the hill, and fucking the helicopter exploded right in front of everybody.
Oh,
Mom, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, and I could take you to a spot right there in McKeesburg.
Jeez.
Yeah, hit the hill right there and exploded.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and the pilot, flight nurses, and there was and my dad. Fortunately, my dad was ejected from the helicopter when he was hit, so his body was whole. They found it laying up in the field, but everybody else, they burned. Unfortunately,
Wow.
yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it fucked everybody up. I had a lot of people that were the friends of mine. My Uncle Kevin was there with them as they pulled him out of the car and loaded him into the helicopter.
Yeah.
You know, so it fucked my whole family up bad. You know, obviously my grandmother, my dad's dad ruined their whole marriage, fucked their family up beyond belief. I mean, they got a divorce. I mean, I can go down that road. I mean, that just ruined them beyond belief. You know, my dad was, you know.
Well, you have you definitely have an inspiring story coming from, you know, where you came from to where you are.
But yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's a whole nother reason why I can't screw up at all. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I have a lot to wait for.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've known you now for about 6 years now, and I just getting to know you over these years. You know, I could say without a doubt, every one of them would be proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you.
So,
for sure.
You do a lot for people. You do a lot for your, you know, your employees. You do a lot for your family, your friends, and you know, I see that. I'm sure they see that. So.
Yeah, I don't talk about that side of me publicly. I don't know if you ever knew all that stuff. But
I didn't actually. I didn't know. I didn't know. I knew that you didn't have your parents. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know the story behind it. So that's why I like, you know, coming over on this side of the mountain here, because, you know, my whole family's from Mary D, the Edmonds side, dad's side, and my dad's actually buried right up the road here in Brockton. Yeah. Okay.
And that's that's why I feel a little at home being on this side. And my other family's from McKeansburg, and they're buried on that side of the mountain. So I'm right between both of them, and everybody I love's in the ground. Yeah, and you know, it's fucked up. Actually, you know, people don't know I drive up to the cemeteries like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, like they're my conscience. I talk to them all the time, and it gets me through, and shit's going fucking sideways. Like I mean, it's almost like, you know, I don't know if you want to call it a mental distortion, but I talk to people that are dead like all week. Fucking weird.
I understand.
But I do.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like as if there's, and that's maybe how I get through it, because it's, everybody's like, how the fuck, dude? Like, you know, I didn't even lose my parents yet. You fucking lost everybody, grandparents, you know, everybody I lived with died, you know, right? I held their hands. I held their hands while they, like, the last breath. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I never got over it. I just live with it. I never like put it away. I never did. I never just said, it's fuck die, they're dead. That's it. I don't know. I don't feel like that. I feel like I talk to them all the time. So it's like they're not dead. I don't know if that's weird.
In a way, they live on through you. So
yeah, it's weird. I don't want to get real creepy weird, but it's like I don't feel like they're I don't, you know what I mean? I feel like they're fucking still around. I can't see them, but I feel like they're there. They are. You know what I mean? And it's like
they're part of your legacy.
Yeah, Jess was just showing me that the other on a fucking thing on it was like a weird TikTok weird. It was like, do you 100 years from now, everything you have, it was like this whole thing about you and the people that know you'll be dead, and the people that know you'll be dead, and then the people have the memories of what they told about you to them, they'll be dead, and all your stuff will be gone. So in 100 years, you'll be forgotten.
Yeah.
Like you hear that, it's like, well, that is really fucked up. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, well, least I can do is not forget them as long as possible.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And like talk about them to my kids.
Right.
I said, I live for the people that aren't here as much as I live for the people that are here.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, we'll never be forgotten, because we are on the Talk About Purpose podcast. That's going to be on YouTube forever.
Anyways, going back to the father thing. Not having my dad and all the other dads in my life, I would honestly have to say made me 10 times a better dad. You were right. I didn't have a scumbag dad. None of them. Everybody. Bruce Baum, fucking guys, the godfather of my daughter. I fucking love him. He taught me goddamn everything. Kevin taught me everything. Bruce Fidzicki they taught me everything. Love them.
Yep.
I wish all of them were somehow I wish I'd fucking 4 biological dads. And
Yeah.
I could hang out with them every day. They're amazing. Fucking incredible. None of them, though, ever tried to be my biological dad. Like, they never wanted to, like, fuck with that. They all respected that, and they're all my friend.
Yeah.
They laid down the law. They did. Like, you know, Bruce Baum was in my early age. I still remember him fucking sending me to bed early because I didn't have a good report card. Bruce Zicki took my truck away when I fucking acted. You know, hey, you don't want to, you know, he took my truck because I was going to, somebody saw me going too fast. They laid down the law.
Yeah.
But we're best friends.
Teaching you right from wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's important for kids to have positive role models in their life, you know, even if their parents aren't involved, because for that exact reason, because the type of people that they can become without that is dangerous and bad. It could ruin lives. But if you just show a kid kindness and show them that, you know, you don't have to be their dad, but you could be a positive role model, you know, it's not hard to buy an extra ticket to go to a park or something with a kid, you know?
Yeah.
It ain't hard to have an extra seat. If you're going to a beach, just take, you know, have a kid, have one of your kids.
How old were you when you had your first son?
23.
23. You, Matt?
18.
11. Early bloomer.
Yeah, no, what was I, 20? Well, she's going to be 16. I'm 41.
Yeah.
So what's that, 30?
25?
Yeah, 25.
24? 25.
So,
25.
and I'm a little different too, Mike.
16,
I was a little
41,
later in life with
25.
my children. So I can't tell you if I would have had a child when I was 18, but I've been the perfect father.
Right.
I had to lock down. And I mean, for you to be a good dad, you need to like fucking give yourself up. Like you need to be at home. Like you need to be, you need to give yourself up. And that's hard as a kid. If you're a kid yourself, that's, I mean, the mistakes my mom made, I look back, it wasn't her fault. She was she had me when she was 18.
Yeah.
And her husband died. Oh God, holy fuck. What would you do? You know, you still want to party. You didn't get to do any of that shit. So she was trying to be doing the best of both worlds. So I, like, what I hate her for, I can't blame her for now. I can't tell her that now, but so, you know, you talk about this fatherlessness stuff. Maybe everybody should wait till they're fucking 32 years old and have a good job and are on to their third woman that they realize the first two they fucked up on. Now they know what to do and they really are in love with the right woman and have their kids. If that was all fine and dandy, there probably wouldn't be a divorce.
Yeah.
Solution.
Either. I mean,
That
that's
could be.
that's a good.
That
I mean,
could
that's
be,
a way to
yeah.
look at it too.
For
I mean,
sure.
maybe people are not having kids at the right time, so it's affecting the children. And that's
They're actually having them older now.
you would think that would make things better.
You would think. You would think.
You're right,
Yeah.
but that's what I always think of. Like,
Is it older?
If
Yeah.
I would have had a kid when I was 18 with the woman I didn't love,
I was 23.
what the fuck would you do?
Well, I was 25 and I was not a good dad.
What would you do?
The best dad I could be. Looking back on it compared to now,
Yeah, but you didn't.
I was a drug addict.
8 years,
How do you not have a? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. I was a drug addict in my 20s.
8 years later now, I try to have my shit together as best I can. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
to be a good dad.
Fast forward, I have custody of her. You know what I mean? And I don't do drugs, obviously. Good life, good career. Good
Now
things
look where
going.
you're at now, though, with your wife and child. I mean, now you got it fucking figured out. Failures are more important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My priorities have changed over my lifespan, and my thoughts have changed over my lifespan, and know the priorities and importance of certain things now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Time.
Unfortunately, it's all the kids. It's the children that are. I mean, I don't want to sound fucking corny here, but it's like we're talking about ourselves, but it's like the kids are the ones that are. And is that making them stronger? Because like I feel like I'm stronger, you're tougher, really tough. Sorry.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But it's like I look at a lot of the kids that had the quote perfect life, and they're fucked up. There's a lot of fuck ups that had the perfect life, and the kids that didn't like fare out too good earlier, like, mom's down the street, whatever, dad's doesn't know where he's at. Those fuckers like could knock you out.
Yeah.
And fucking are busting their ass, the guys that work overtime. And it's like the kids that can go back to daddy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think everything that happened to all of us made us who we are. That's our identity, right?
I agree.
That's our identity. And we came through it. We're warriors.
Yeah. Most interesting people I know have troubling background.
Fucked up. Yeah. It wasn't good.
You endured the suck. You know what it's like not to have things. You know what it's, you know what the opportunity cost of it is. You know what I mean? Like my kid, she's had a very tough life. You know, there's a lot of bad things that happened to her when she lived up north from here.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have that with her. You know what I mean? But then I spoiled her too. So then she got a little spoiled and a little sassy bratty there with the spoil. So then she learned from that lesson too. So she's learning. We're like molding her, but it's hard to do it because she's had 12 years of bad mold per se. So we're like trying to say, no, you don't want to think that way, or you don't want to do that kind of
16.
Like, she's gonna be, yeah.
She's at that's one of those like 8 years, like 16, then to 24, 24. So God knows where she's going to be when she's 24.
Yeah.
You might completely planet change,
Yep.
you know, and look at you completely different.
She's already, you know, she already look at the things differently than she was 2 years ago. You know what I mean? She's had to be mature for her age because she was pushed to be mature. You know what I'm saying? By the situation.
Yeah, we just talked about that makes you way more mature, way faster when you have to like worry about yourself sooner, which is what that does to you.
Yep.
Like, fuck. You know, mom and dad are worried about the new mom and dad, and I gotta get out of this house.
All right. So I think one of the ways that we can also help bring men back is to stop making them look so fucking stupid in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The movies make us dumb. They make us uneducated. We have no control. The wife wears the pants in every one of the sitcoms.
The Barbie movie that just came out.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, they do it with cartoons. They do it with cartoons like that
Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd Parents.
That one. They do it all. All the kids are dumbest shit. They have to have Fairy Odd Parents or Fairy Parents to help them because the other two parents are as dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They're trying to give all the power to the kids.
Yeah, and it doesn't help girls. Because you either get a dumb dad, an asshole boyfriend, or a non-existent Prince Charming.
Yeah.
There's no reality to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this ain't helping our boys, and it sure as hell ain't helping our girls either.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why does Disney always kill off the mom?
I don't know.
Why does that happen?
They hate the mothers.
Don't get me started on Disney. What happened to them in the last 10 years? I can't even. I don't even want to go down that road.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I don't even want to watch Disney movies.
I unsubscribe.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm making my kids over Christmas break sit down and we're watching Jeremiah Johnson. Did you ever watch that?
Jeremiah Johnson.
What is that?
Look it up.
Fucking kidding me?
No, what do you mean? What is I probably know what it is. What is it? Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's Robert Redford, where he's
You gotta look it up.
a trapper.
Gotta.
And he's out west. No, he's out west.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
And he goes through all he was, you know, from the war, goes out, finds himself, is a fucking he's a trapper, a hunter, lives on his own, lives in a little tent. Runs in with the Indians, meets this fucking woman, and then makes a mistake. They kill his wife, and then he fucking goes on a rampage and kills every fucking Indian because of it. And they fight him because he made a mistake. And then it's on like it's one of the most iconic movies of all time. Like there's a cult following of that movie.
That's not where that picture comes from.
That's him.
It's not.
That's him. That's
Dude,
Robert.
I've seen that meme a zillion million times.
You got to see that. That's Robert. Dude, if you would see that movie.
That's Robert Redford?
Yeah.
I didn't even know the meme was Robert Redford.
Yeah. Francisco, put up a picture of that, please, will you? Robert Redford.
Dude, you got that movie is
this picture, Francisco.
Yeah, you got to put that picture.
No, that picture. That picture.
That picture. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, like eating dead animals to survive through the winter, like, and then going through what he goes through. And it's like, that is a good old movie.
Huh.
That like shows you what shit was like, love's like, and then what revenge is like. The same thing, he adopts a son.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And cares for him. And it's like an iconic movie. They'll never fucking make that. They shoot they shoot real animals in that movie.
Really?
God forbid. Oh yeah. Like real deal, like line up on a deer and pound it and it dies. Like a couple times. It's awesome. Grizzly bears, shit going sideways. It's the best.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that meme a million times as well.
So have I had no idea.
That's
I
why
didn't
I
know it was
picked it
Robert Redford in the meme.
Yeah.
We used to
funny.
a skinny face and him looking small.
Oh no, he
husky.
was the man. Yeah. Oh, he was the man. Yeah. In that movie.
That's funny.
Yeah. So,
what else you got?
Exactly.
So
he was a fucking man. That's what they portrayed him as.
Exactly.
He was a fucking man and then defended his family, killed people over what they did to him, killed animals to live.
Yep.
They build a fucking house. They show him building the goddamn house with his wife, cutting logs down, like real deal shit. That isn't how men are portrayed anymore.
No way.
Men are portrayed in commercials as looking up their curtains with their other man friend. That's like what men are on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
or drinking a Starbucks with a bun.
Yeah.
Or going to the White House in a dress.
Or going to the White House in a dress.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? That's okay now.
Or stealing dresses from an airport.
Yes. And then going to the White House in them.
Did you do that, Frank?
No, I knew that. I didn't do that.
Okay.
You really think I can fit in a dress? I'll tell you what. Me stealing some other woman's
I can
dress
see you wearing a
that's
romper.
a big,
I
ugly
can see you
woman.
wearing a romper.
That's a big woman. Big woman.
I can see you wearing a romper.
Shallow Hal will go near that. Big woman.
Who you
Hal, ever see that movie? Good movie.
No, I did not.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah. I think about like, you know, again, we have daughters. But like, I still try to be as manly as a motherfucker, you know, in the butcher shop, shooting deer, trapping, working out here in the machines, kids fucking driving tractors with me. Like, I ain't stopping. I'm raising them as if I'd have a son.
Mm-hmm.
And I still drive them to dance lessons every night. And we're still watching Disney girl movies crying. But I want to show them what a fucking manly man is, whether they like it or not.
Well,
that's what they need. They need to know
what to look for, and a lot of times that's what they're going to do. They're going to look for what they know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a famous ex-NFL player named Otto Kelly, and he now runs a teen pregnancy center in Reno, or crisis pregnancy, not teen, crisis pregnancy center
Reno, Nevada?
in Reno. Yeah. And what's interesting is he's actually a pretty freaking epic man himself. But what he's found is the girls, because he has to go out and deal with pimps. He has to pull girls out of bad situations. Because, you know, if they're at the pregnancy center, they go relapse or something, he's got to go get them and stuff. One thing he found dealing with all these pimps and stuff in the area is that the pimps say if the girl had a dad, it's hard to turn her into a trick. It's a prostitute.
Yeah.
He said, and when they don't have a dad, it's easy to get them to do almost anything.
Wow.
That should terrify the shit out of anybody who has a daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they're not scared of getting in trouble. Like they don't want to they have nobody to disappoint.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to disappoint your dad. If you have nobody to disappoint, well, then you're just fucking free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, so he also runs a like kind of mentor thing at his place. And he'll mentor these ladies, and he has other guys that mentor as well. And the women are far more likely to not relapse into any of their things that they were doing when they have a strong male figure in their life that doesn't look at them with wanting eyes. So, I mean, just turning a kid's life around might be you being that strong man in their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's a big deal. And it really is.
Definitely is.
But let's end this on a bit of a positive note.
Okay.
Because we've talked about all the negative of not having a father. There is some positive. You get resilient. You mature. You have to learn responsibility.
Know how to shave.
You have to learn how to shave yourself. Yeah, that's why I have a beard.
Me too.
Tree.
But you become independent as well.
3.5. Sorry. Just kidding, man. You become independent.
And
Yeah,
you also now have a chance to learn from more than one person on what's right. So there are some good aspects to it. Now, they obviously don't ever outweigh the negative from all the statistics I just read, but they can make it through. We're here proof of that.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're a bit of a cognitive bias because of availability. If we were in inner city, this would not be the case, most likely.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a bit biased for us. And we have to take that into consideration. But there are some positives. And I think that's just worth noting.
It's good.
But it's not the end of the world that you don't have a father or that, you know.
I think everybody here in this room kind of, is proof of that.
Yeah.
That,
We're happy. You're happy.
Yeah.
We're all 4 of us are happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't have a dad. We have kids. We love them. They love us.
Mhm.
Yep.
Dude,
Better. Shit.
Dude, that's all you can ask for.
All you can ask for.
You make mistakes, ask for forgiveness, and know you made the mistakes.
Yep.
Move on and learn.
We learn as our kids learn too.
Yeah.
I don't think the 4 of us are going to fix it.
Oh.
No.
Unfortunately,
No.
it's a society thing.
Yeah.
Church.
Church.
That's like, and the big thing is nobody's scared anymore to split up, because then when you split up, it's okay. Then your kids are left without parents, and it's become a society thing. It's a culture now. It's okay. And I don't know how that culture is going to change. Unfortunately.
And marriage isn't as sacred as it used to be, I feel.
Bingo. There's no responsibility to lock you into.
Nobody cares.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I took my vows seriously when I said them.
But
I tell you what we could do. We're not going to change it. And I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm thinking, what the fuck could you really change? We're not. We can't put a law in the country. But what you could change, if I have to say one thing, is if you see a young kid that needs some help, mentor him a little.
Yep.
And be that one guy that in 30 years says, there's this fucking dude that straightened my ass out. Yep. When you see a kid going wrong, or at least try. Like you said, when your buddy's friend comes over, your son's friend comes over, family's broken. Hey, you want to go to Nobles today hey, come, call the parents, take them along, show them what a real family's like. Yeah. Let them relax. Maybe do those things. If you can't change the world, change just 2 or 3 people.
Yep.
I think that might be just start small, but look out for those kids that need your help like you need somebody else's.
That might be it. That was perfect.
Beautiful. And one other thing is, as you parent, and especially if you haven't come from a father, if you haven't come from a home with a father, you kind of also raise yourself while you're raising your children.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a learning process as you grow. Nobody's a perfect parent. It doesn't exist.
No.
But you sure do learn a lot along the way.
Yeah, exactly right.
Try my best. I try to do better every day. I try to be a better person than I was yesterday.
You are. Absolutely.
New version.
Thanks.
You're getting better every minute. Thank you.
But yeah, you said exactly right. Nail on the head right there. Just try and do what you can for other people. Because like I said, not everybody goes home to love. Not everybody goes home to parents. Not everybody goes, not everybody has those types of positive influences in their lives, and make a huge difference. You could change the outcome of somebody's life.
Yeah.
So
benefits everybody.
Benefits everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell you much.
All right.
All right.
Guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks
Talk
for
About
having me
Purpose
again.
podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.